Hello, ma'am. Good morning.
Good
Just
morning.
1 minute. Let me say it's good afternoon. Yeah, it's good morning now. How have you been, ma'am, so far?
Yeah, I am doing great. I am good. Thank you for asking. What about you?
Yeah, my day has been good so far, and I'm full of wins while having session with you. And I hope with the help of the session, I'm gonna learn something special.
Okay. So, sir, since we are having this meeting for the first time, so I would like you to introduce yourself.
Yes, ma'am. Of course, it's my pleasure, by the way. And the very first thing that I can say, thank you for giving me this wonderful opportunity. And if I say something about myself, so my name is Praveen and I come from Madhya Pradesh. Currently, I'm working on my communication skill. And if I talk about my education qualification, so I have done master in computer science. And nowadays, I'm having session with learning people
Okay.
and trying to learn something from every individual session. And whenever I have session with any people, so I try to be a good listener first of all and about the speaker always be a good listener. So I always say the same line again and again to myself because if you are a good observer, then definitely you can learn something special. And if I talk about my hobbies, so there's nothing special. I'm just an ordinary boy, and I consider myself as a student. So yeah, the process is going on, and the things that I want, it's gonna take some time, but if I work with my full dedication, so definitely I can say to myself at the last, now I nailed it. So it's pity about me, man. Now it's my pleasure if you share something about yourself.
Yeah, okay, sir. Yeah, since my name is Prachi, I belongs to UP as well. Currently, I have been living in Bangalore with my husband and son. If I'm talking about my qualification, so I have completed masters in mathematics. Nowadays, I'm trying to brush up my communication. Because of that, I created my channel as well, named English with Consistency. So this is pretty much about me. I think, sir, from your side, some voice is coming. I think this time, are you at your workplace?
This is my study room, by the way. That's not my workplace. I
What?
think the fan is it is making noise. My fan is making noise.
Oh, that's why. Because of, from background voice is coming. But it's okay.
Okay. By the way, whenever you just type something, the very time I mute my mic, then it will solve.
Okay, okay. No problem.
Okay, ma'am. So you have mentioned you have done master in mathematics. Sounds
Yes.
very suspicious for me because like when it comes to talk about mathematics, so I'm all thumbs. By the way, I was from math side, and whenever I used to solve any mathematical question in my school life, the very time I become sluggish, my mind goes blank. Like now, what to do and how to solve them. How did you take? How did you took such a pressure? Because like many students consider mathematics as a burden, but you was different. So, like, what was the reason you took mathematics? And whenever we talk about mathematics, so how do you take it as a burden, as a golden opportunity? Now you are going to solve something special.
Uh, Yeah, sir. Actually, that time, when I was in ninth standard, so that time in ninth standard, there was a time that then you have to choose that what side you are going to take, whether it is art side or science side. So that time I didn't think too much that okay, I'm going to take math, so it will be quite burden for me, and I never felt that it was a burden. I really enjoyed math, and that is why in my post graduation I took math as well. As you told me that okay, when we solve questions, so we feel energetic, we feel okay that how we are going to solve it, and one questions solved in two three types, two three manners, so it is quite interesting as well.
Yeah, yes, of course. Every people has their individual, mindset. But it wasn't my cup of tea. Like as I have mentioned already, my mind was blank. I used to take as a warden. But nowadays, actually, I'm preparing for one of the government examinations. So I reluctantly I have to solve, mathematics.
Yeah,
So
but
yeah, so that is why right now I can.
but initially we feel like okay, we are solving something if we are not getting, and so we get frustrated. But over the time when we cram up all formulas and everything, so we feel we start enjoying solving questions. Yeah, by the way, what exam
Yeah.
are you preparing?
I'm preparing for the CGL examination.
Senior. Actually, some boys are coming, so I'm not able to understand you
Okay,
properly.
okay, just 1 minute. Uh, I'm preparing for the CGL examination, combined
CCL,
graduation.
SSC,
Yeah, yeah, SSC.
SSC exam. Yeah, actually, for 6 months, I have before getting married, I took coaching for SSC exam as well.
Sounds good.
Yeah, but
Then what about your preparation?
no, no, sir. After getting married, now it's been 9 years since I am married. I have been married before getting married, actually. For
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Now I'm getting the point. Hmm. So,
Hmm.
ma'am, I mean, how many attempts have you, given so far?
Uh,
And what was the result? Like, did you, I mean, have you tried to achieve like any examination and you just leave it after you marry?
yeah, actually, sir, only one time I appeared in that exam, in SSC exam, and that time I couldn't qualify that. And after getting married, I never tried to appear in any exam, not only SSC exam, but also other exam, because of family responsibilities and a lot of things comes up when suddenly you get married, and so that is why.
Yeah, of course. I can say sometimes it's happened we have to sacrifice our desire, the things that we just because some we can say like family problems and yeah, there are many things that I can describe. So by the way, ma'am, as you know, we are having session for English, not for the mathematics. So
Yeah.
there's something special that I'm very meticulous about this.
Okay.
So ma'am, the very first thing that I want to know from your side, what makes you, motivate toward this language, and what's the reason behind you want to be assertive in this language?
Okay. So, to be honest, sir, initially when I started learning this language, so it was a burden for me because I belongs to UP and you know very well in UP side there is no exposure for English language, right? So when I came here in Bangalore, so there were many situations where I had to face and where I had to speak English, right? So then I started learning this language, but gradually I started falling in love with this language, and now I am quite comfortable. Now I don't feel to like I am doing something which is very burden for me. I am quite comfortable with this language now.
Wow, that's good. If you are very, meticulous about something, for example, this is your cup of tea, you enjoy it. So we do not take as a burden. Something that you love, something that you like. Definitely, like how many hours we are doing the same work, we do not become sluggish shortly. The same thing, if I say about myself, the same thing is happening with me nowadays. It becomes my obligation as well. Yeah, I also love this language whenever I have session with any random people. So while having session, I forgot the time. Sometime we cross the limit and suddenly call cut. Then after then I realize, oh, while having session with anybody, I forgot the proper time. We have limited time. We have to emphasize our message. So I forgot. I go in other world because whenever anybody asks to you something related to you, then the things that we describe. Definitely, we are enjoying, so we forgot the time. So yeah, it used to happen with me as well. I'm also, I can say, like this is my cup of tea. I really enjoy whenever I have session with any random people, and I try to get something new, like not as a advices or to use advices, but I took them as a I take them as a well wisher as well, experience of the life. For example, right now I am having session with you. So yeah, there's a lot of chance, I'm trying to get something new while having session with you. And the things that you did in your past, okay, I mean any mistakes while learning this language, while learning this language. So if I'm making the same mistake, definitely I will figure out the proper solution. And to the help of this session, I try to fix it. And next time I'm not gonna repeat. So how it is happening just because like learning attitude, and just because having session with random people, I had already have session with some people. They also taught me something special, how to work on the right way. So the same thing is happening with you right now. Definitely, I'm enjoying the session, and right at the last, I must say, ma'am, now I have something special.
Hmm. Yeah, because if you start something, so you can't say that, okay, I started enjoying this thing. Are you, am I audible?
Audible, I can hear you. Go
Okay.
ahead, ma'am, no problem.
Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, sir, I totally agree with you. Whatever you have told me, I totally agree with you.
Thank you for your attitude, by the way. Ma'am, I have one more question. So the question is that if anybody wants to be, fluent in this language, then what are the things that we need to, stay away? I mean, we need to stay away from them. For example, there are some misconceptions about this language. There are some, there's something that is preventing us from growing. Many people have some misconception about this language.
Hmm.
So, in your point of view, do you know anything else that always prevent us from people growing? So, what do you think about this question, and how do you describe and how do you emphasize your message?
Yeah, actually, sir, I want to share my own experience. Like, because I have learned this language from scratch only. That in good in grammar, but I never try to speak in English with anyone. Right, when I came here in Bangalore, then I started my journey. So from my experience, I learned that you have to be consistent. And first thing, whatever strategy you are following, be stuck with that for a long period of time. Suppose you are speaking, right? Initially you should start with only one pillar. Four pillar are there for learning this language, learn, speaking and listening, writing, and yeah, four pillar are there. So just first figure out your interest, what your interest first, and then stick with that for a long period of time. Because if you are a beginner and you are grabbing all these pillars at the same time, so you feel a burden, right? And you are not going to for a long period of time, you feel like, no, it is not my cup of tea. And after 2 3 months you feel like, okay, I am going to capitulate, right? But this is a language, it will take time. So my first point is you have to be consistent. Second is first choose what you like most, what pillar you like most, and then stick with that for a long period of time. So just definitely you will see the intangible change in your communication. Not communication, even you will start speaking and learning this language, because it is my personal experience. So that is why, ma'am, sir.
Wow, your four pillar example was really amazing, man. I was all ear while you were sharing your four pillar example. Yes, first of all, we have to, create a specific mindset. First of all, the things that we want to achieve, try to figure out how many things we have to go through. For example, you have mentioned four pillar example. I was really happy as I heard the four pillar example. First
Hmm.
of all, try to, know about first pillar, then second pillar, and the third pillar. For example, reading, writing, listening, okay, and observation. There are many things. First of all, this is not our native language, okay? So there are like a lot of chance we have to make mistakes, and if we are not making, then definitely we can learn. And in my point of view, another thing, if I say, this is the biggest misconception in my point of view. Many people, they want to be fluent in this language, but the misconception is that they are running behind for the perfection from the day first. They
Yeah.
want everything from the day first. Yeah. So
Hmm.
that is why some people, they fail down as they start learning this language and they don't know anything about this language. And suddenly, like from the day first, they want to be fluent. And as they try to speak, so their mind goes blank. There are so many things which we don't know. When we will get, whenever we come in the real, when we come in the session, whenever we try to record ourselves, whenever we watch, whenever we become a listener, writer, and speaker, everything. So how it will happen gradually. Okay,
Gradually, yeah.
definitely from day first you can describe your hobbies as well, your introduction. Definitely within 1 week, yeah, definitely you will have quality to describe your hobbies and about your introduction. Okay, but when it comes to talk about spontaneously, when it comes to talk about taking quick action, then definitely it's gonna take some time. Like nobody, nobody is 100% perfect. You already know, man. But we can be perfect. How? Just because if you are following consistency every single day and there's no any slugness into yourself, there's a one burning desire that is giving you a booster every single day. Now you have to nail it, you have to nail it at any cost. So that kinds of particular mindset, that kinds of particular desire, not only this language, but also the thing that you want in your life, definitely we can achieve. It's gonna take some time, but believe in yourself, be honest with yourself, and yeah, at the last, see the magic in my point of view.
Yeah, and sir, I want to add one more thing, that I feel that basic knowledge of grammar should be there also, because some people feel like this is a language and just we keep talking to each other and we will learn. I think it works for some of them, but this technique did not work for me. I started my journey with grammar, so I'm not saying that okay, we have to know that what is noun, what is adjective. We don't need to know grammar profoundly, but I think basic grammar, I feel so. Basic grammar should be known.
Yes, absolutely right. I am in the favor of you, I can say, because you know why? Without knowing the grammar, how we can convey our message properly. For example, if you want to convey your message in the present, but you don't know grammar, then you are conveying your message in the something about the past. So that is why this is also important. Sorry, I
Yeah.
actually I forgot to tell you, but yeah, of course, totally agree with you. This is the proper benefit right now. I can say one point I forgot to describe while speaking spontaneously, but right now you describe. Of course, this is also matter, man.
This is
How it
also.
is happening just because having practice. Yeah.
Yeah, otherwise, suppose I am someone, I am trying, I am talking to someone, but I don't have any knowledge regarding grammar. So I will be skeptical about that whatever I am saying, is it right or wrong? But if you have a knowledge regarding grammar, so suppose now we are having conversation. So I'm not saying that okay, I am speaking with grammar. I am speaking English with accuracy. But I know that where I am making mistake, and over the time definitely I will get over that mistake. So you will be able to get to know your mistake as well if you have a knowledge of grammar. I feel so.
Yes, I totally agree with you. Ma'am, why? Because a person who wants to learn this language from the starting. So of course we have to follow a baby step. I mean, with grammar, it's become like our baby step. And the second thing is that whenever we don't follow the thing that is very important to be assertive in this language, then after some days, our mind become ambivalent. Everything is
Yeah.
mixed up, like your brain, will evolve. So that is why if you don't want to face like anybody who does not want to face that problem in their future, so of course you have to follow the right strategy. You have to work, on the right way. Of course, many people they are working, but they don't know. They are working blindly. So open
Yes.
your eyes and try to, figure out the proper strategy. And at the last, you will have something special. I must say, not you will not be perfect, but something. If you compare yourself from the day first and during your, learning process, definitely you can say you to yourself many changes. How? Just because consistency, what is good and what is bad. What is the right strategy, and gradually as you see yourself at the last, you will be different, not the same person.
Yes, yes.
Okay, ma'am, now ball in your court, because I asked a lot of questions. Now it's your turn. I'm very all agog for like my your turn, because I don't know what you are going to ask, but I'll try to give my 100%.
Okay, sir. So just I want to know, now you are quite comfortable with this language. So after reaching here, after reaching at that point, what do you feel that what is your gray area? Where do you need pay attention to more?
First of all, if I say, ma'am, whenever anybody asks to me any question, so I become motivational speaker. So this is the bad things in my point of view. And the very first, the second thing that I wanna say, I have to emphasize my message. Okay, I have to convey my proper message. Sometimes, like while describing my proper message, what happened with me. My message become beat around the bush. So that kinds of particular things now I realize it is preventing me from growing. So I have to work on that way. And if I solve that problem, like this is like that situation, that position become my sluggish. It becomes sluggish for me, and definitely it is preventing me from growing. And every single day I tried to figure out the solution, like where I was wrong and how to break that kinds of comfort zone. This is not growing me, man. Definitely this is preventing me every single day, because sometime I feel I like I become sluggish, so I do not work properly, and I say, okay, let it be, this is enough. But right, I mean, now I realize that's not enough. The things that I have achieved so far, learning process is ultimate, and we are not, by the way, uh, you know we are learners, so definitely we have to learn till our last breath. And once we consider now this, I'm perfect in this language, then that kinds of mindset, like your I can say ambience mindset, not ambience, like your mindset, that kinds of mindset definitely never gonna give you something special. So the things that I want and anybody wants, just try to be a good listener, observer, and good student. At the last, definitely we will have something special. So yeah, in my point of view, these were things that were preventing me from growing. Still, I am facing the same problem, but every single day I try to find out the proper solutions, how to break that kinds of comfort zone.
Hmm. But I think, sir, this is a common problem. Every learner face this problem. Like if someone asks us any particular question, so sometimes we start beat around the bush. Because in Hindi also, if suppose I want to describe something, so I give some example. So I start something from others, then I come to the point. So it happens with everyone.
Yes, I can say yes. The same thing happened with many people, but who work on the right way and who analyze himself, definitely he crossed that comfort zone, and he changed himself.
Hmm. So, sir, well, what motivated you to learn this language? It is your passion, or it was your compulsion? Just because you are preparing for CGL exam. So, while during exam, did you feel that okay, this is something which I have to need, then only I can crack this exam?
And to be honest, if I say from the initial stage, I had complete capacity toward this language. But now it's become my obligation. I don't like, by the way, from the starting, didn't like this language. For example, next morning, English will disappear from this world. Then reluctantly, we have to learn another language. Okay, for example, if China is the, biggest country, Japan is democratic country, like very popular country, everything is available over there, so we have to learn Chinese language. We have to learn, reluctantly, we have to learn another language. So
Another
yes,
language.
of course, I can say, it's not my, by the way, cup of tea. I was just, trying to pretend, yeah, this is my cup of tea. But now it's become my obligation. I have to learn at any cost. And many people who have desire to cross their boundaries, so they have to update themselves according to the time. So I'm just trying to do the simple things. Okay, I am just updating myself, and a part of that, nothing is special, man.
Okay. So, sir, after learning this language, did you feel that this, learning language is helping you to your study as well?
Yeah, of course it is. Like it is working like I'm killing two words with one stone. For example, I'm preparing for the seasonal examination. So
Hmm.
this is very mandatory. You have to learn so many vocabularies and grammar as well, and comprehension. So yes, it is now working like booster for me. Whenever I before, what used to happen with me, whenever I try to recall any vocabulary. So from the starting, I shortly forward. But nowadays, whenever I have session with any random people, first I write down some vocabularies, okay, and I create my own sentence, okay. I include into myself, so I include my friend, I include some basic common ideas about the society, about the world. And whenever I have sessions, so the very time I transform the same vocabulary during the session. So it's sounds unique as well. It show me like, yeah, really I have something special. And of course, so this process, if I do the same process frequently, then this become like like it dissolve in my tongue, and I do not forget softly. So yeah, now I can say, man, in a nutshell, definitely English is helping me a lot, and I'm killing two birds with one stone. It's not like yeah, of course it is helping me a lot.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, sir, I can see that you are using. Very beautiful idioms and phrases were phrasal as well. Comfortable using them.
Yeah, because I included myself, that is why it is happening. And there are so many things which will come spontaneously. I don't know, but whenever anybody asks me any question, then it will come spontaneously.
Hmm. Okay, sir.
And ma'am, do you have any question? Another question? Because there is one question that is remaining from my
No,
side.
no. Yeah, you can ask me.
Okay, by the way, ma'am, I didn't ask you. I really apologize. How long have you been preparing for this language? And
Uh,
what is the last step? Okay, what is the last position? For example, one day you become fluent in this language. So, what is the last position that you want to achieve?
uh, okay, first, I want to give answer for first. I have been learning this language more than 1 year. And after becoming fluent, I hope so. So, sir, now we are almost out of time. So, if you have another questions or anything else, you can ask me. Otherwise, then I will wrap up the session.
By the way, I am done with my all points, and thank you for your important time. It was ineffable session for me that I do not forget. Definitely, whenever you upload the video, so I will figure out my, I can say some mistakes, and the next session I would rectify them and try to convey my message properly. So at the last, I must say, ma'am, thank you for your important time. It was really amazing session for me. I learned so many things with the help of you, and yeah, nothing special by the way. I'm just a simple and ordinary boy who doesn't have any kinds of qualities. Just one burning desire. I want to learn something in my life, and I want to make my specific identity.
Yeah, actually, sir, I really enjoyed this session. Thank you so much for being here. And I hope somewhere down the line we will have another session as well. And best of luck for your exam.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for this.
Okay, sir. Thank you.